Now let's talk about a key chapter in Jose Rizal's life, his time at the Ateneo. The story begins when Rizal, just a young boy, traveled to Manila with his older brother Pasiano, and their mission was to enroll him in school. He was headed for the Ateneo Municipal, but this school has a very interesting history. It wasn't always called Ateneo. Originally, it was founded in 1817 as the Escuela Pia, which means charity school, and as the name suggests, it was set up by the city government to provide free education for poor boys in Manila. Later on, the school was taken over and managed by a very influential religious group, the Spanish Jesuits. They are known for their excellence in education, and under their guidance, the school was renamed Ateneo Municipal, and it became one of the best schools in the country at that time. So when young Rizal walked through its doors, he was entering a rigorous Jesuit school that had very humble beginnings as a charity school, and this environment would play a huge part in shaping his brilliant mind. Now, getting into the Ateneo wasn't easy for young Rizal. He faced some big problems right at the start during registration. The person in charge of admitting new students was a priest named Father Magan Ferrando, the college registrar. And at first, he refused to let Rizal in. And why? Now, here are the two main reasons. First, Rizal was late for registration. He missed the official deadline. And second, Father Ferrando thought that Rizal looked too sickly and undersized. He was small and thin for his age, and the priest didn't think that he was strong enough to handle the tough routine and discipline of the school. So, because he was late and looked physically weak, Rizal was almost turned away before his education even began. So, how did Rizal get in if he was initially refused? Now, he had a very important connection. A man named Manuel Ceres Burgos stepped in to help him. And it's important to note that Manuel was the nephew of Father Jose Burgos, a famous Filipino priest and a close friend of Rizal's brother, Pasiano. And because of this family connection, and likely as a favor, Manuel Ceres Burgos personally recommended young Jose Rizal to Father Ferrando. And with this strong recommendation from our respected person, Father Ferrando reluctantly changed his mind. Then, Rizal was finally accepted into the Ateneo Municipal, but it was a close call. And this moment shows us how important family networks and recommendations were at that time. And without that help, Rizal might not have entered the school that would become so crucial to his development. Excuse me. Now, here's an interesting detail. The name he enrolled under wasn't the family name he was born with. Jose's real family name was Mercado, which means market in Spanish. However, this name had become suspicious to the Spanish authorities, and the Mercado family, especially through his brother Pasiano, was known for its liberal and reformist ideas and views, which the government watched closely, and to avoid any problems or prejudice, and to ensure that his enrollment was safer and smoother, Jose used a different name. He chose Rizal, a surname that had been used occasionally by his family in the past, and by doing this, Jose became the first in his family to officially use Rizal and school. And this wasn't just a simple change a simple name change. It was a practical decision to protect his opportunity for education and to distance himself, at least on paper, from a family name that was under political suspicion. Now, after finally getting enrolled, the young Rizal needed a place to live in. Now, his first boarding house was located outside the walls of Intramuros, the old Spanish walled city on Caraballo Street. The house was owned by a woman named Titay, who was a spinster, which means she was unmarried. And there's an interesting detail about his stay here. Titay owed Rizal's family the sum of 300 pesos, and while we don't know all the specifics, this debt likely influenced the arrangement for his board and lodging, and it may have been a practical way for Titay to settle part of what she owed. So, from the very start, Rizal's student life was connected to his family ties and practical circumstances, even in where he slept and ate. And that would be all for my part. Thank you.